well deserved. But his agent wanted to capture the moment of him signing, so he took a picture of him, and in the background was a dry board, and it had the Magic's plans for prospective trades and free agents, and on that had Aaron Gordon for Dario Saric from the Sixers, and that went viral, and it kind of pissed off Aaron Gordon. How would you feel if you was the player? And how does this make the Magic look? We're going to start with our guys. Especially being he's an Arizona guy.
Right. Well, they need to get Aaron Gordon. He should be happy because he needs to get out of Orlando as soon as possible. Because they keep trying to play him on the wing, and he's not a wing.
Yeah, he's a power forward.
Yeah, he's a power forward, straight up and down. I just thought it was hilarious. I saw that earlier, too, and I thought it was hilarious. Like, just to be completely oblivious of the surroundings that you're in. And you're so happy that you're sitting there taking pictures and you got, organizational trade plans in the background.
Exactly.
And this never occurred to you? Like, you never looked at this board one time the whole time you were in it? It was crazy to me. And I would understand why Aaron Gordon, would be upset.
With the Magic, not the agent. The agent was probably innocent in that because
yeah.
But like, dang, y'all got me on a board. Like, how far this get up here?
Right.
Hold up.
And what happened? I found out about this before this picture. Yeah, I mean, I feel like partially is the fact like you didn't look at the picture before you posted it.
Exactly.
Like if you kind of like looked and say, all right, do we look okay before we posted it? You maybe would have saw it in the background. But yeah, I think he should. It's kind of like a catch-22. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, he should be happy to possibly get out of there. But at the same time, it's like a slap in the face. Like, I've kind of brought a little bit more light down to the Magic. Like, people maybe watch a little bit more to see if I'm a dunk in the games, so bring him a little bit more publicity. And y'all just got me up on the trade block. Nobody likes to be just given away. But, I mean, it's definitely hilarious. I don't know how they just let that get out there.
Especially for the Sixers, which is worse.
Exactly.
Like, hold up, man.
That's true, too. You're like, wait, you want to send me way back now?
Like a winner or something?
That is true.
I don't know, man. Just as Marcus said, count your blessings. Count your blessings. And even like with the Sixers thing, is it worse?
Ben and all them,
Like, is it worse?
Like,
I just want to throw it out there. Like, even if JoJo's not healthy, Ben Simmons is better than anything in Orlando right now. And he's probably at the 3, which means you at least get to play the 4. So, and then secondly, from an organizational standpoint, bad teams stay bad. That's why. That's how. Who leaves that type of information up there?
All right, on a dry erase board.
And then secondly, Aaron Gordon never been in that office, but you let everybody else in it?
Hey, man.
That's a good point.
Gotta be more careful, man. Patrick Ewing is the new head coach at Georgetown. Is that a great look for the Warriors?
From a marketing standpoint, definitely. I'm just saying definitely for that. To be particularly honest, he hasn't had head coaching skills, but he's been an assistant coach for like 15 years, something like that. So he has the mindset to actually do it. It's just going to be interesting to see if it can actually transpire into it, because I think a lot of people are just banking the fact like he just got the job because he used to play there, and that, like I said, they want to get more big men, and what better person do you have to come walking in your living room but Patrick Ewing and say, come play for me, and you're like, okay. You know what I mean? So from a marketing standpoint, as to get people to come to the school, is definitely a good look. I'm interested in seeing how it actually works out with him, like being a head coach, and seeing like the schemes he comes up with and the personnel that he decides to have on his team and things like that. So I'm just interested to see that happen.
I mean, hopefully it works out better for them than it did for St. John so far. But I'm fascinated by it. When his name was first floated, I was kind of like, they're not really going to do that, are they? I mean, I know Pat has been assistant coach for a long time, trying to get a head coach in job, and just hadn't been successful with it. But I think it's all going to depend on the staff he brings in. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the make or break thing right there. I mean, obviously he doesn't know the high school scene in this area, so he's got to surround himself with some people who do. Because I think one of the big, I mean, obviously, and then this is common knowledge, but one of the big problems at Georgetown has been the fact that so many players from the city have gotten away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it doubles down. Yes, it's great from marketing standpoint, and the school needs something positive, but I just feel like he paid his dues. He's been in the league as an assistant coach for more than enough time, and he's been itched over for jobs for 15 years. for some of these coaches got jobs. And, and I do understand the Chris Mullins way of looking at it because I don't really understand how he got his gig. I felt like that was more of a marketing because, like, you in a broadcast booth, next thing you know, you coaching.
Right.
Like, at least with Pat, I know, like, he's been on benches. And the fact that, like, Steve Clifford, respected enough, was just like, just go. Don't finish the season with the Hornets. Like, I think they played tonight in D.C., and it's kind of like you're done. You don't have to go,
Just stay.
Yeah, just stay.
Just moved
We're
all your
done.
stuff when we came
So,
up here.
and the other thing is, like, and I'm not saying any of you guys, but I know I see some of this stuff on Twitter. People talk about his work ethic and all this other stuff. Like, this was a Hall of Famer. So, before we even get to talking about work ethic, like, how about we fall back? You have to have one hell of a work ethic to be a Hall of Fame
why
player.
is that even in question?
Because people are crazy. And people do wild things. Because I saw it and I was just like, again, I closed my laptop.
Yeah,
Yesterday.
I would have closed
When I
mine,
saw it,
too.
because I was just like, are y'all serious? And then I understand it to not have an experience, but you've seen the NBA game. And we've seen that, like, Kevin Ollie's came back and looked at things through the NBA eyes, and it's worked for him at times because, it's different. And, like, one thing I know, the way that they attack, like, out-of-bounds plays from an NBA eyes, it messes up. College teams aren't ready for that. They don't know how to prepare for that stuff. And some of the intricate stuff that happens on NBA level could be, that's a heck of an advantage on a college level. And yes, like you guys said, the staff is going to be of the utmost importance. Right. And I think they're going to get a good staff around them. I mean, as long as he gets a good staff, I think everything will be fine. But I'm just kind of like, it can't be any worse than what it's been, right? Like, for everybody going crazy. Like, let's just wait, give somebody a chance, and go from there. Cardell?
Yeah, he definitely deserves a chance.
And the question of Patrick's work ethic, they're just folks that haven't been paying attention. Everybody in the NBA know that they've been advocate about him getting a shot. He even coached the Charlotte Hornets summer league team, right?
For years.
He's a Hall of Famer. He could be like, that's beneath me. And he's the top assistant. Normally, that's for like, bottom assistant guys who just coming on. He willingly did that to show. But it's the stereotype that pisses me off. Like us black men, we could dominate the game, but we not intelligent enough to teach it. Or coach it. It's that dynamic that just really irks me. But that's a whole nother discussion. Chris Muller, he got the job because he was actually like an assistant coach at GM front office with the Warriors when Baron Davis, all those years when the Baron Davis, Steven Jackson team. So he was kind of already in that mode too. He just left there because new management came in and just passed the time. So St. John's came knocking. Why not go back? Because that's what he really wanted to do. So that made sense. It ain't like he was just with that, to be fair to him. You know what I'm saying? But it takes time to build that up, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's going, people gotta understand with Patrick Ewing, it's gonna take time to build that up. Yep. But I'd rather have somebody like that who's willing and dedicated to coaching with the pedigree that he has. You got more of a shot, to even, because look, if he have a big man that, maybe, slacking or whatever, they might get tired of his voice. Let me call Zoe, let me call Dikembe, come talk to him, you know what I'm saying? Because all the kids coming in want a guy NBA goals, let's be for real.
Right.
So with that aspect, he has advantages where he be like, okay, this is what you need. You got NBA goals and everything, like, but your work ethic ain't good. The kid may be hearing them but not listening. Okay, let me bring in some of my friends so you really understand. Play one-on-one against Jeff Green. Play one-on-one against Roy Hippolyte and get tore up. Now you understand it. If that don't jolt you away, it's little things like that, that can help. And then obviously in game we just gotta wait and see. Some of the adjustments playing against that. I'm like, he's seen it all. Like, so why wouldn't he? It's just a matter of him just getting a little experience here and there on the coaching, aspect, recruiting. I think he'll be fine, man. So, I mean, I'm not worried. Just give him time. They have like 500 season next year. Don't be like, he's terrible. He need to go.
Yeah,
like, come on,
you
man.
gotta give him time to build.
Yeah, it's going to take a couple of recruiting classes.
So that's all it is. Here we go. Phil Knight said his interest in Lonzo Ball.
Oh, God.
But also said $1 billion is a little bit too much. Would you have interest in signing Lonzo Ball? And if they're not willing to bend on that $1 billion, would you pay that $1 billion?
Fifth.
I just asked the question, man.
Would I pay the $1 billion? No, man. No, I'm not paying the $1 billion. Does paying the $1 billion mean the end of Big Baller Brand?
You gotta ask them that. I don't know. I think that's just the $1 billion of he said co-sponsorship. So
okay, if I'm giving you that, like, that's got to go. If I'm giving you $1 billion,
I think that's gonna live. And we just co-sponsor. There's gonna be Big Baller Brand right here, Nike.
No, I'm not giving it to him either.
There's no interest in signing him?
No, I mean, me personally, I'm more of a prove it type person. Like, don't get me wrong, you're good at the college level, but it's you never know what's going to happen when you get in the NBA, and I'm just not that type of person. Like, you got to prove it to me. You got to show me before I start giving you stuff. Like, I need proof.
Fifth.
And that's exactly why I don't give the question. See, now usually you know why. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't.
All right.
Interest in signing him is one thing. $1 billion is a
definitely
whole,
that,
that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Okay. Deshaun Watson was escorted out of a Tuscaloosa bar by former Alabama players Ryan Anderson and Wallace Gilberry after, patrons started to get hostile at him. Was it a stupid move for him to even go there to begin with?
He went to a bar in Tuscaloosa?
Yes.
Ooh.
And they started getting at him about, like, you need to roll before you get ignorant.
That was a bad decision to go there.
I was gonna say that it's kind of like hard to say because it's like you never want to be like you can't go somewhere
Yeah,
as a person. Like I can go where I want to go as long as I can get in. But
it's still fresh.
The smart thing to do is to not put yourself in bad situations. Regardless of how much pride you got about wanting to be around there. But yeah, that probably wasn't the best decision.
No.
I mean, you could have watched it somewhere else. Went somewhere else.
Yeah. Why was he in Tuscaloosa?
I don't know.
Why are you here?
Maybe he there to troll.
Right.
Yeah, I'm back.
He showed up wearing his national championship shirt just in his ring.
Yeah, that could have ended bad. All it takes for him to jump on, he hurt his arm, can't play.
Exactly.
And then, is it worth it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's not worth it.
All right. Golfer Lexi Thompson lost the 27 ANA Inspiration Tournament in the Southern Death Playoff to So Yeon Ryu after a viewer emailed the officials of the event to tell them Thompson moved the ball like an inch the day before. So they didn't catch it that day. They caught it the day before after a viewer emailed them. Thompson at the time held a 2-stroke lead. The penalty, she was penalized 4 strokes, which forced the sudden death, and she ended up losing. What's your thoughts on that?
First of all, that is super petty of whoever decided to do that.
Yes.
Let me first say that, because I'm petty, and I'm not that petty. That's, first of all, super petty, but I still don't think that they should have penalized her for it if they didn't catch it when it happened, because that's like saying the NBA go back and they say, well, these refs missed these 3 calls. It don't change the outcome of the game. The game over, right? That day is
the Warriors
over
the
and
championship. That 3-1 don't count. Back.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't feel like that was fair. If they pride themselves on their integrity, they should have caught that the day before. Like, what were y'all looking at before? Were y'all not paying attention then? And it was only when an outside source brought that to your attention. So I don't feel like it was fair. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, she did it. If she did it, she did it. But at the same time, like, you can't kind of go back and forth with it. If that's going to be the precedent going forward from now on, it's just like, so now anybody's just going to start emailing and stuff. Yeah. It kind of, people start running away with it.
LeBron traveled. Steph Curry carried the ball.
I'm saying, because they got receipts for that.
Oh, me?
The 5th, you use your 5th.
Nah, I use it already. I got one. I got one every 2 months. Hire the person that caught it. First of all, they obviously are doing a better job than the people that are there. That's extremely petty. Man. Unless maybe it was coming from an honest place. And you just maybe you just saw wrongdoing and you felt like it was your duty to blow the whistle?
Because I'm like, what if this person was like somebody in the other team's camp? Not saying it was or it wasn't, but I'm like, what if it was somebody from their camp? Like, yeah, I seen this. Or don't get me wrong, like, there are people out there that doctor stuff up. Not saying that this is one of the times, but I'm just saying, like.
Tom Brady, go ahead.
Also, that you said it was golf, right?
Yeah.
They should be happy for the publicity.
Women's golf, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to.
I think that's probably one of the reasons. Like, golf is the only sport that does this. That I think lets people from their couches call in or email and say, "Hey, such and such did this."
I guess they were like, at least somebody was watching.
Right. It's super lame.
It's
super lame.
It is.
Made headlines. Congratulations.
And now let's not talk about it anymore.
Okay. Adrian Peterson visited the Patriots. Is that a potential problem, or he just checking the scenery, see what's going on, checking the move? So
you laughing? I want to know you first.
Hey, look, man. No, your asking price is too high right now. This is like Like you at 25, sure, you would have been got 15 a year. Again, like you guys are talking about the kids holding yourself accountable and everything like that, and like being in touch with reality. Your market is your market, dude. Secondly, you have a tendency to cough the ball up sometimes. Bill Belichick, anybody remember what happened to Stephen Ridley?
Yeah, I don't know if he's in the league.
He fumbled the ball one too many times. Bill, don't play that. Thirdly, you should be so thankful that your agent knows somebody to let you go there to help you boost some stock to get signed somewhere else.
I think that's what it really was.
That's all I have to say, because man, they ain't thinking about you, man. Can't catch. As much as they throw the ball, like, come on, dog.
The Patriots, like, as much as people hate them, have earned the benefit of the doubt with this. So whenever I see somebody's name attached to the Patriots, oh my God. Like, I just assume that he's going to get in that uniform and run for 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns next year.
And they're going to the Super Bowl.
And they're going to win the Super Bowl. Like, this is just the way it is.
It's fair. I'm not mad at you for that. Just, hey, that's just where I'm at on it.
Tony Romo retired, became a broadcaster. Was it time?
It been time.
This whole thing kind of surprised me today because I was like, weren't they supposed to cut him like a month ago? Didn't they agree
they were going to cut him? They were going to trade him.
Jared's a headline machine. Jared's a great marketer.
I thought Jared was his man. You supposed to let him go. Let him free so he can go do what he was going to do.
Fly
right.
Flap your wings. Fly away.
Man, they've been trying to put him in my Broncos. I'm like, no.
He was rumored to come to the Redskins.
Oh, man.
I think I mean, to be completely honest, I really don't want to watch him broadcast.
Oh, wow.
To be completely honest, I don't watch that many games on CBS, so I think I may be good.
Right.
But still.
Oh, yeah, you an Eagles fan. You straight Fox.
Yeah, I need Fox at all times. I'm not really worried about CBS. Unless we play somebody in the AFC. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I really don't listen to him talk that much. And I don't know as far like what his broadcasting type skills would be. Because, like, you know, there are players that every now and then will be on ESPN, like on SportsCenter and stuff like that. So you can kind of hear, you know, how they talk, how they present themselves. I just don't have that from him. So I'm just...
Jerry talking up for the whole franchise.
Exactly. So I'm like, is Jerry going to be sitting behind him writing out his words and everything? I don't know. I'm honestly glad that the whole Tony Romo era in football is completed. You know, I feel like even though now a lot of people are still going to have conversations about, because, you know, even all day today, all I saw up and down my timeline was, well, I mean, Tony got the most fourth quarter comeback wins and all stuff. So I was like, how many Super Bowls?
2 playoff wins. You to think this dude Bill Russell in the NFL?
I'm just like, okay, so now can we stop talking about it?
Nah, Jerry gonna bring it back up.
Right, and his name's gonna come up every time
Dak does something.
He's the new Brett Favre.
Yep, they're gonna be like, is he gonna come out of retirement?
Oh yeah,
He's gonna leave the broadcast booth.
I'm happy he made the best decision for his health.
Yeah, because his body couldn't take too much more.
I don't want to see it end on the field because he can't protect himself. You don't need to be out there.
That's true.
That's why I say coming to the Broncos is a bad idea. He'd been finishing.
Trevor's young and couldn't protect himself.
Exactly.
And then for the broadcasting thing, you can't be any worse than Phil Simms. So
whose job he's taking, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because I think he said with Jim Nance, right?
I'm saying the bar's kind of low over there, obviously. Only go up.
That's why I'm not watching it.
2 more questions, then we get done. Here's a report that's kind of more serious. The Undefeated, which does a good job, they showed that they said college hoops is being gentrified. They said most scholarships are going to middle and upper class kids. And here's the statistic: fewer than 1 in 5 students playing Division I hoops, and 1 in 7 in all Division I sports. You know, they come from poor families. You know, get scholarships, and their numbers are declining year by year. Is it strategic, circumstantial, or both?
I'm not sure. I mean, I saw, because you posted those, the 2 graphs. I think it's definitely something that people should take a look at. Because, I mean, I don't know, does it mean that some people might be doing a little better? And you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what they're trying to say, because it's basically off of statistic, first generation, you know, college basketball players, so to speak. So what they're saying is, if you come from a poor background, you can't afford the training and the education to qualify for college and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I don't know, because there's some kids coming from backgrounds that have degrees, but if you're not willing to offer them because of the background they come from, you know, what does that say? Because normally back in the day, you know, the poor background would get the most scholarships because they had the most talent. You know, you know, it is what it is. But now I know that hasn't really changed because, you know, sometimes your circumstances drive you to be great at something so you can escape that. So I know that hasn't changed.
Right.
Well, all of a sudden, it's the statistics. That's kind of, you know, weird to me, man. I don't know. That kind of, because I'm like the first generation. So I'm like, well, how that would have affected me if I was coming up now? You see what I'm saying? So it's just, that's kind of.
It's kind of weird that I'm just interested in how it came about. You know what I'm saying? To be shared.
Since the new rules, I mean, the new academic, you know, like they started penalizing schools if certain people don't graduate.
Right.
You know, they take scholarships and all that. And I think that's over like 09 or 10, something like a few years ago. So that might have had something to do with it. But, you know, who would that affect more? People coming from poor backgrounds who may not have the great education. They may have the intelligence, but they just might not come from that academic background where they might need a little bit more help in college and stuff like that. So I don't know. That's kind of, you know, iffy to me. That's why I'm asking: is it strategic or circumstantial?
I mean, it's kind of weird because if it is strategic, then aren't you kind of like cutting off your nose to spite your face in terms of athletes for the marketing, the athletes that don't get paid for us to watch the events that they're in? Mm-hmm. So like that's why it's kind of weird to me. Like I'm sure you know, when there's smoke, there's fire. I'm sure that like everything you're saying that there's some of that in there, but again, like I just don't like. I look at the NCAA as one real weird, shrewd, dirty business. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So, and that's the nicest way I could say it. So again, like it's weird for me to see them cutting off their nose to spite their face because you know that talent. If that talent still, the majority of that talent is still coming from that area. It's weird. It's hard for me to say that they're just gonna be like, oh nah, y'all not welcome anymore.
Nah, but you gotta look at it also this way. Some guys blossom late. Mm-hmm. Now you know some of these top guys, you know, like you said, through middle school and all that. So people get their hands on them early, try to help them before, you know, so by the time college come around, they're already on track. They, you know, bring them to private schools, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff like that. But what if you 5'9", 8th and 9th grade, and you Anthony Davis, you grow like, you know, like the kid Ricardo Lindo for Wilson, 6'1", then he grow to 6'7", everything changes, you see what I'm saying? But luckily he comes from a good family background, but what if he was struggling, his mom, you know, situation, but he's good enough to play?
And that's where I'm weird at because ideally by this it would be no. It's just hard for me to say them dudes turning down making money or somebody if that kid's that special. It's hard for me to. I just don't like. I have that much lack of faith in them. I guess if they make a rule not to break their own rule, if it can help them at the end of the day.
But it's been. That's why Brandon Jennings they don't budge. That's why he had Terrence Ferguson last year. He went overseas. You'd be surprised, and he's one of the top 10 players from coming out the class last year. He had to go overseas because he didn't qualify.
And how many years has this new thing been in?
No, like 2010. It's been recent, so it's really just started.
So this metric is still kind of early.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, I guess it's just something people should monitor going forward. Because as you said, if Terrence Ferguson's out the country, and we've been seeing him in mock drafts for like 3 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's something that people should definitely keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with both of y'all. Like, I feel like you said, like, I feel like the NCAA is more so like, you know, if you're going to get these people in the chair, people buying tickets, people buying paraphernalia, stuff like that, like, I can't see them turning that down. But then I still feel like, you know, it could be a case-by-case situation. It kind of depends on the certain circumstances and the certain kid, you know, to kind of try to figure it out. But I definitely think it's something worth keeping an eye on, like you said, because, you know, if that's something that's happening, you know, something needs to be done about that, because I don't feel like anybody should be, you know, shied away from something just because of where they've come from. Because like you said, a lot of times that atmosphere that they're in is the drive to get them out of that atmosphere. And, you know, we all want to be like, you know, helping each other out, even though it's kind of rare in the days that we're in now. But it should be, you know, if a kid is actually showing the potential to want to do these things, you know, people should be trying to help them. But a lot of times due to circumstances, you know, those people aren't around them to help them. You know, so hopefully it's something that they keep an eye on, and hopefully it's something that they take care of.
I think it's a combination of factors. Just piggybacking on what Wilson said, I don't think I don't want to come out and say it's all, this intentional evil plot. But I'm waiting to see how the metric, continues to develop and see what happens over the next couple of years.
Shout out to them for uncovering it this early, or like bringing it to light, because
I didn't know. I was like, whoa.
Because like my whole thing is like you said, like what we're saying, if it is a case by case basis, then there's an issue from your original rule,
right?
And if it's purely the other way and nobody's trying to go there, but it is that way, then that needs to be highlighted as well. You know what I'm saying? From both eyes. So like that's what I'm just saying. Like it's something that needs to be closely monitored from this point forward.
Okay, and the last question. Jerry Jones says he wants the marijuana ban gone. Is this his ploy to help the players, or does he see more financial opportunity behind it? What's your thought?
It's the help. Hey, look, it's the help. Every team usually got between 7 to 10 picks a year, right? Mm-hmm. Thinking back the last 5 or 6 years, there's a lot of Cowboys prospects that end up having certain issues, right?
Exactly. Weed issues stay all.
Okay. They end up having certain issues. I think this is a way to make sure that Jera gets the best out of his Cowboys at all times. That you get the most out of every draft. You dig? If that's the popular issue around them parts as Jera sees it, it wouldn't surprise me if Jera's looking out for Jera, going, well, my defense wouldn't be that bad if so-and-so was allowed to smoke on the weekends, in the weekdays. So that's just how, look, I'm sorry that I'm that person that looks like that, but that's the only way I see this.
You're not the only one. We're on the same page. I think Jared cares about Jerry, and anything that, if it happens to help the players, that's a side benefit that Jerry doesn't really care about.
I was definitely going to say the same thing. I don't really think he really cares about if they can actually smoke or not. I just want to know it. I just think he cares about if they get caught. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like they can't play if they're getting caught with stuff like that, which in turn costs their team to lose games, which in turn costs them to lose money.
Right.
And it all comes back to that. I don't think he cares one way or the other who gets high at all. I just think he cares about, well, I mean, if he got high last week, does that mean he can't play on Sunday?
That's true.
The almighty bottom line, man. And I mean, allegedly, they had some issues, maybe stronger drugs than that during their heyday. But
I'm saying,
Jerry's just looking out for allegedly.
I ain't no alleged.
Look, man.
But even if he gets the ban lifted, even if he gets the ban lifted, it's still not legal in Texas.
Hey, look, it's Jerry. That's Jerry.
I can see like Colorado, where they can have fun out there and not really get in trouble at all.
Jerry just moved the Raiders to Vegas. Jerry can do what he wants. It's Jerry's league.
Oh, God.
He just moved a football team to a place with nothing but gambling.
Yeah.
I was like,
made the taxpayers come up with all that money to pay for.
Right,
but can't take care of the school system.
Because I'm like, what other team is out there?
Where did you find $750 million?
Exactly.
And Jerry was like, you're going to pay for it, too. Now take my weed ban.
Lord.
Hey, man, Marcus, thank you so much for coming.